After you're done watching this video, you will not only walk away with the best mindset shifts and action steps for you to stop comparing yourself to others, but you will feel worthy and enough, and you will walk away set up to step into your most confident self. So, if you're new here, which you most definitely are because this is my first YouTube video, my name is Katie and I'm a confidence and self-worth coach, and my mission is to help support women to let go of their insecurities, fears, self-doubt, and unworthiness so they can step into their most confident self. And with that being said, when I was at a time in my life where I felt insecure, unworthy, and not good enough, I used to struggle so much with comparison. And I know so many other women do as well. It's this constant feeling of life being unfair because some other woman has what you want and what you'd wish for. It's this feeling of not being good enough and thinking about what she has and what you lack. And it can eat you up every day, all the time, on social media, in the streets, when you're out in public, when you're with friends. So that's exactly why I'm gonna give you all of these amazing mindset shifts and action steps so you can let go of that comparison and start feeling confident. So go click subscribe if you haven't already, and let's jump right into the video. Okay, the first mindset shift might have you a little taken back because you're probably gonna be like, Katie, what do you mean? But it's basically that everything you see in others is just a reflection of something that you see in yourself. And we know this because it happens with the opposite. When you don't like something about someone else, that is just a reflection of something that you don't like about yourself. And when someone's talking bad about you or criticizing you, that's just a reflection of their own insecurities and things that they don't like about themselves. But the same is true with the alternative. Everything that you see in others that you love, that you admire, that you compare yourself to, is just a reflection of little things you see in yourself. So when you're looking at that girl like, oh my gosh, I would love to look like her, I think she's so pretty, a small part of you feels you're pretty as well. When you're looking at that girl like, damn, she's gotten so far in life, she's so far ahead of me, a part of you knows that you have it in you too. And a part of you appreciates yourself for succeeding when you do. Think about it. If not, you would not be watching this video. You have a small part of yourself that does love yourself, that does see your worth, that does know your potential. Every time you compliment someone on the street, or maybe you give a silent compliment while scrolling on Instagram, or you like a post, whatever you are liking and admiring is really a reflection of what you like in yourself and what you already have within yourself. So whatever that thing is, your action step is to express it more and literally give love to yourself out loud for that thing that you admire because you already have it. Okay, number 2, the only person that you can logically compare yourself to is the girl that you were yesterday. And I know you've heard this before, but here's why. If you compare yourself to someone else, it is literally like comparing apples to oranges. Not only do you have completely different DNA, a completely different purpose in life, completely different talents, strengths, and gifts, but you're a whole separate person. It just would not be logical or fair to even compare the two because you are made differently. The only person that you can logically compare yourself to is yourself and who you were yesterday. Because if you're gonna compare yourself to anyone at all, you are the best control group that you have for yourself to base your measure of comparison off of. Your journey is different than hers. Your purpose is different from hers. So if you are going to compare yourself to anyone, or rather see your progress, look at the way that you're acting. Look at the way that you're showing up. Because if anything, that is the only thing that you have control of. You don't have control over what you don't have and that other girl does have. You only have control of yourself, what you did yesterday, well, not what you did yesterday, what you're doing tomorrow and what you're doing after that. And side note, little pro tip here, if you're ever feeling like you're falling behind, or if you're not making progress at all, stop measuring your progress while looking at your goal. Because if you look at the goal that you have, you're gonna feel so far behind. You're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not even there yet. Instead, look backwards. Look at where you started. Look at how much you've overcome. By looking backward, you see how much progress you've made. And by making that comparison, it can be a fair comparison. And you can feel empowered to take action for what you can control. Okay, next one, and I love this one, is to switch from why me to why not me. So often when we compare ourselves to others, we're like, oh my gosh, like why don't I have that life? Why not me? Why don't I have the boyfriend? Why don't I have the friends? Why don't I look like her? Why not me? Again, that doesn't leave us with anything that's in our control or that we can feel confident about. So here's how I want you to look at it instead. Think, why not me? There are so many women out there from all different walks of life who have been through hell and back, the worst experiences that anyone has ever been through. There are women who are survivors. There are women of all different kinds of body shapes and sizes, who are married, who are not married, who have the ideal pretty face, and who don't have the ideal pretty face. Regardless of which women they are, there are so many freaking women on this planet who are confident in themselves simply because they decided they were enough. So why not you? Why can't you make the same choice? Why not? This right here is so powerful because it's shifting your mindset from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And it's switching from feeling like, well, I don't have any reason to be confident, and she can be confident because she has X, Y, and Z, and she can be confident because she has this. I can't be confident because I have nothing. It's taking that and switching it to, wow, there are so many women who allow themselves to feel confident as they are from whatever walk of life. So can I. So can I from my perspective. So can I with what I have. Why not me? Okay, mindset shift number 4 is to look at the evidence you do have to feel confident about yourself. And here's where I want you to stop focusing on not comparing yourself to others and instead just focusing on being more confident and shifting your identity. Because the more you get so grounded in yourself, the more you believe in yourself, the more you express the fullness of your authenticity, then the less you're gonna compare yourself to others anyway. So the way that you do that and you step into confidence is by recalling all of the evidence and all of the proof that you have that you can be confident. So here's how you're gonna do this. Say you're comparing yourself to that girl because she is successful, and say you feel like you're not successful. I want you to ask yourself, what evidence do I already have that I have succeeded in the past? And you're gonna think, well, you know what? There was that one time that I tried that one job and I actually did pretty good at it. Or there was that one time when I was in school and I was going through this really hard class and I actually did way better than what I thought. Well, guess what? That is evidence that you can succeed. And that's evidence that you can use to fuel your confidence. Here's another example. Say you are comparing yourself to a girl because you feel like everyone likes her and she's social and she has a lot of friends. So what I want you to do is look at your life and find evidence that people can like you. And it doesn't have to be this big piece of evidence. It could be as simple as, you know what? There was one time where I had a conversation with someone in the middle of the street and they really liked what I was saying. That is evidence that someone can like you, that you can be social, that you can have friends too. So look at the evidence you already have for why you can be confident, and that alone will allow you to stop comparing yourself. Number 5, I love this one. Well, I love all of them, but okay, so this one says that within every comparison is an underlying desire. So instead of comparing yourself and feeling bad about yourself, ruminating, overthinking, and feeling jealous, shift all of that energy to what it is that you truly desire. So right now, I want you to pick the top thing that you usually compare yourself to. Is it someone who is pretty, right? Is it being beautiful? Is it someone who has a lot of success, right? Is it being able to succeed? Whatever that thing is that you often compare yourself to is simply what you desire. And guess what? There is nothing wrong with having a desire. In fact, you have that desire for a reason. You have that desire because you are able to fulfill it. So like I said, instead of spending all of this time and energy overthinking, ruminating, feeling jealous, comparing yourself, use all of that energy and put it in to taking action for what it is you truly desire. So take action and take the steps needed so that you can feel beautiful as you, so that you can succeed on your own in what you love. Bringing back whatever that top comparison was, thinking of an action step right now that would allow you to fulfill that desire and doing it so you can fulfill your desires and feel confident. Mindset shift number 6. You are here to be you and not her. I'm gonna tell you a little story about an archer so you can really understand this. So there was once an archer and she was at an archery tournament and she was really focused on getting a bullseye, on becoming her most confident self, on attaining all of her goals. But as she was shooting and making her shot, she looked over at Becky and instantly she started comparing herself. She started feeling like she wasn't good enough. She started feeling fear. And she looked at Becky, comparing herself, feeling jealous, wondering if Becky had it better than her or had the better technique. And as she was shooting her shot and looking at Becky, she missed. She missed the mark for her goals. She missed the mark for what she wanted to do and achieve. And she lost her authenticity in doing so. She lost herself and her vision for her life by looking at Becky, that other woman. So you are not here to be her. You are not here to waste your time looking at her. You are here to be you, to do your technique to get to your goals, to fulfill your purpose, your journey, not Becky's, not the other woman's. So a big part in being able to not look at that other woman and only focus on yourself is by being comfortable and being confident in expressing your authenticity. This means being able to trust yourself, express who you are without fear, and feel so confident in your authenticity that you don't even feel the need to compare yourself or look at anyone else. And this is exactly what I help all of my one-on-one clients with in the Confidence Academy program when they work one-on-one with me. We work together to let go of their limiting beliefs and fears around expressing their authenticity so that they can tap into the spice, the core, what makes them them, so that they feel so in love with themselves, so comfortable with themselves that they can express themselves so authentically without fear. And the best part is I hold them accountable of doing so that they can show up as the most confident version of themselves. So let's say, for example, for one of my clients, the way that they want to show up and the most confident version of themselves goes out and talks to people or shows up authentically on dates. I hold them accountable of doing that so that they can do the action even with the fear, so that way they can overcome those fears, stop comparing themselves, and start feeling confident. Moving on to the next, number 7. I love this one too. Number 7 says, turn your comparison into inspiration. And the reason why I love this is because I used to feel like women around me were my competition. I used to always feel this need to prove myself to other girls that I was around. Who had the better this? Who's better at this? But over time, that left me feeling so exhausted, and it damaged so many of my friendships. It was only until I allowed myself to let go of my ego and step into vulnerability that I began to be inspired by these women instead of comparing myself to them. And now I can look at women who may have what I desire, women who may have the body of my dreams that's on my vision board, women that are in the relationship that I desire, have the lifestyle that I'd want, and I can look at them feeling so inspired. You know why? Because what I tell myself with this mindset shift that you can start telling yourself too is, if she can do it, it is proof that I can do it too. Because at the end of the day, we're both human. We both have the same brain and ability. So if she can succeed and I see another woman achieving all of her goals, instead of comparing myself to her, feeling behind and feeling like she has something that I lack, I can be like, damn, that inspires me. That goes to show if she can succeed, so can I. If she can feel beautiful and feel confident in her skin no matter what, and post that picture on Instagram, then so can I. That is only proof that I can attain the same kind of confidence. Me and that girl, we are sisters. So when other women succeed, get excited and get inspired, because it's only proof that you can do the same. Okay, number 8. Don't kill me for this, but I'm not a huge fan of pretty privilege. In fact, what I'm really not a fan of is privilege in general and the idea of it. And the reason that I'm saying this is not because I think pretty privilege or privilege doesn't exist. I absolutely think it does. But it's more so because when we are comparing ourselves to other women who we feel have a certain privilege that we don't, it really doesn't give us any control over what we can do in our own mindset. And I'm a big believer in keeping things in your circle of control rather than blaming them on external circumstances. But here's how you can stop falling victim to the privilege mindset. So right now, you may really wish that you looked like another girl, had something that another girl had the lifestyle another girl does, and you may feel that she's privileged for one of those things. But privilege is subjective, meaning you're looking at her right now and thinking, wow, she has pretty privilege. She has such an amazing face, such an amazing body. She has an amazing life and she gets everything she wants. But really, that may not be the case. You cannot assume without knowing her and her situation. Because on the other side of things, we don't know what that woman is going through. And we can't just assume that she has this amazing life when she herself could be feeling insecure and not good enough. She could be going through financial trouble. She could be going through relationship drama. In fact, she may be looking at you and your life and what you have, or the relationship with yourself from the outside, and saying, oh, that girl has the privilege. So privilege is subjective, and we are all in the same boat. Every single woman has insecurities. Every single woman is going through something. Every single woman is overcoming some kind of struggle. It's just a fact of life. And it's not fair to make these assumptions or get tangled in this pretty privileged lie that is only designed to keep you in a state of victimhood. Number 9, this is the last one and by far probably the most important one. And that is that you are already worthy and enough. You see, comparison is really just a symptom of an underlying self-worth issue, of an underlying self-confidence and esteem issue. So when you're able to heal things at the root and you're able to discover your self-worth and truly feel enough, truly feel deserving, truly feel able to be authentically you, that is when everything shifts. Because that is when you are able to shift things at an identity level. It's kind of like you are a diamond that has been buried in the mud for so long. You are this diamond, you are worthy, you are enough, and you always have been. You've been born that way. But over time, you've been through different traumas, different experiences that have damaged your confidence. You've gained different fears. Maybe you've damaged your own relationship with yourself. Maybe you've allowed yourself to get taken advantage of, or you've listened to other people's criticisms about you. And over time, this mud has piled on top of you, this diamond. And so if you were to look in the mirror like this as a diamond with all of this mud on top of you, all that you would see of yourself is ugly, is worthless, is insecurities. And that is part of the reason why you may compare yourself to others. But when you let go and you rinse off the mud and you come back to the knowing that you are intrinsically worthy, you can truly gain a confidence within yourself that is like no other because it's found in yourself. Not in what that girl has, not in validation from other people, but just from you. Because you become your own source of validation and you feel enough. And something else that I'd love to mention about this process in finding your worth and feeling enough is that it's also the same process that I use with all of my one-on-one coaching clients inside the Confidence Academy. Meaning when we work one-on-one together, I am supporting them in letting go of the mud by letting go of their limiting beliefs, fears, doubts, and deeply rooted unworthiness so that they can come back to the knowing that they've always been enough by shifting their beliefs, finding their authenticity, and taking consistent action to show up and embody the identity of the most confident version of themselves. So if that's something you feel called to do, there's a link in the description for you to apply to work one-on-one with me. And after you submit your application, myself or my team will reach back out to you, learn a little bit more about your current situation, where you want to be with your confidence, and from there we can see if it's an aligned fit to work one-on-one together. Other than that, that is all that I have for you. Please remember that you're enough and that you're loved, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!